Potato Cat. Welcome to my channel, and today we are playing Lake of Voices. Previously, the light went out and the guide gave us the option of going with him. And we chose no, and apparently only one person can follow him, and we chose to let Marco follow him, and now we're kind of stuck in this terrible situation, and that is where we left off, so let's continue. Renewed tears pour down Margaret's face, dripping in a subtle rhythm onto the already damp wood. She opens her mouth and begins to say something. However, it catches in her throat. She doesn't want to say goodbye. I don't either. She looks down, and her voice drops to a whisper.
Thank you both for everything.
She then turns around, trying to catch up with the guide. It was almost unbearable seeing her so hurt. She didn't want to sacrifice someone else for her own safety. As much as I didn't, however, I still hold to my decision. My only regret is that it wasn't only myself who was left in the dark. We both stand alone, consumed by creeping darkness. I gulp in, breathing, and exhale it slowly. A breath and exhale it slowly. My eyes are drawn back over to Lou. It is difficult to face him after the choice I made. Yet, I am determined to accept my own decision and do anything I can in order to still assure his safety. What I see disheartens me even further. He's smiling.
Not picking me was the right choice. There was no question.
A horrible pit forms in my stomach. How is it that he can be so comfortable with my decision? A choice which might essentially mean he'll die in place of someone else. Lou nonchalantly stretches his arms out, his elbows bobbing with the motion.
We probably should start running now.
Yep. Still, I feel compelled to respond to him with something, an apology at the very least. However, I look down, my fists tighten in a contemplation. I can't let my feelings I lost my place. Can't let my feelings on this slow us down. I need to get him to the other side. I steel my determination. The two of us dash forward and take another branching path out of the bridge. Okay, danger music is playing. We continue to face to race across Sinlos, bridge after bridge. Many glossy arms reach up from the lake over the sides of the bridge towards our ankles. Luckily, we're able to pass by each one before any can grab hold. There are moments here and there where Lou seems like he's going to stumble and fall. However, he manages to keep himself up, right, each time, and continues forward. Ah, shit. Our confidence is shattered as we turn down another path and are forced to come to a halt. In the distance, we see it, a mass of slow moving figures creeping our way. I narrow my eyes.
Prowlers.
I turn behind me, only to see more Nixie as they begin to rise up from the waters. They stretch their crooked limbs across the boards. Droplets of cold sweat begin to run down my back. I thought she was going to say brow. There is no clear path any longer. Even if we light a match to set a side of the bridge on fire, it's possible that not all of them will leave, and then we'd be trapped by both flames and monsters. It would also put the others at risk if the flames spread to them. I slowly slide my hand down my side and reach for the hilt of my sword. I leave behind the broken lantern that won't do anything for us now.
Stay close. I can at least clear the way we came so we can keep going.
If you're sure.
Are we sure? Just... Can we set our sword on fire? That'd be nice and convenient. Lou meekly shrinks away from me. He's rapidly becoming nervous. However, there's no time to discuss it now.
It is the only way.
My insistence strike. My insistence. There we go. I was like, brain forward. Strike a chord with him. Lou closes his eyes and breathes in.
I understand.
Good job, Lou. With his approval, I focus my attention back out on the Nixie and pull my sword from its sheath. I creep towards one of the monsters who slinks back and arches its spine like a hostile cat. I slash the first creature I meet as soon as I'm within sword's reach. The blade clean deep into the Nixie, and it screeches loudly. I holler over the monsters. I holler over the monster's deafening cry.
Move!
Lou quickly scrambles past me and away as I strike at another creature. It hisses in pain and crumbles into the water. I dart back to put some distance between me and the remaining Nixie, but I feel a force like an iron chain lock onto my leg mid-strike. Oh, do I get to kick it off? Did I die? Ah! I turn with a deep tread forming in my stomach to see a Nixie latch onto my leg. I quickly slash at it. However, it manages to grasp the sword with its other arm-like appendage. I kick at the creature, but the weight of my boot does nothing to ease its hold. Every time I forcibly make contact, its flesh folds over and squishes down in such a incredibly unnatural way. It's as though their flesh has no attachment to its bone. Ultimately, my thrashing is in vain. More Nixie latch onto my legs. Oh, so am I gonna get saved? Lou, save me! I force myself to accept that clinging to a sword here is only causing me more problems. So I release my attachment to it as I twist my body and kick. Ah! Look! I'm not surrounded by Nixie anymore! Okay. The Nixie harshly pull at my other leg as I start to kick. I am forced off balance and topple forward. Once on the ground, the monsters start to yank at me with renewed fervor. This is a very long death scene if I'm just going to die in the end. No matter how I resist, I'm pinned completely down to the wood. Then I start being taken towards the edge. Oh, it's moving. I'm not even able to turn my head to look once more before I get violently thrown into the water. A multitude of twisted beings surround me and pull me into the depths below. All my thoughts are occupied with hopes that somehow Lou was able to escape without me. Ugh, he died! Oh, that sucks. It's not great. Well, okay. It'd be great if there was a thing where I can just, like, load from my previous choice. Let's see. Let's see if, like, choosing to stay with her will save me. Like, without the guide, you have, there's no way of survival, honestly.
Well, because why you have to go.
If any.
Okay, we'll see if taking Lou. Oh, it doesn't let me skip now. Lou looks up towards the guide, uncertainly making eye contact, seemingly for the very first time. The guide regards us with an unreadable expression. Okay, let's see if it'll let me skip this part. Nope, I read it already. Yep, keeps going.
If any further. If you wish, you may.
He stares straight into Lou's face, referring to him without saying so directly. Lou blinks, shocked again. He doesn't make a mention to move.
Be safe.
A motion to
please.
move.
There isn't time left.
See, my thought is I will try all three options until, see if I live. Because maybe the only choice is to leave the two of them behind and then they somehow find a way back on their own. Who knows? We'll see. So if this fails, I'm just going to go back to this spot and then choose the other option. If that's not, then I'll just have to start from the beginning, huh? The gaze I have set on him turns hard. Like, if I have to, I might have to choose Bimile over Lou. In other words, just not save him from the beginning. Finally, he comes to at least a portion of his senses. He then gives a hesitant smile.
Good luck. I hope you live.
We probably won't not. We probably won't live. Yeah. I managed to sigh in relief, feeling pleased that Lou has gone with the guide. I believe he will be safe there. My only regret is that it wasn't only myself who was left in the dark. We both stand alone, consumed by a creeping darkness. I gulp in a breath, and yep, we did that part. It's difficult to face her after the choice I made. Yep, the apology, basically. Margaret stares at me wordlessly with intensity. I feel compelled to look away from her again. I refuse to give in to that temptation. Neither of us say anything as we watch the other. Margaret's narrowed eyes never waver as she peers into mine. What could she be thinking of? I can only guess. After a moment longer, Margaret sighs and breaks the staring war by looking downwards.
We can't be that far from the shore by now. We may as well try to make it there, right?
Right. But
My sentence trails off as I drown in my regrets. Margaret shakes her head lightly.
Let's not talk about it. If I were in your place before, it's not as if I would have been able to make a better choice.
She pauses for a moment to furrow her eyebrows.
And it is my own foolish fault that I ended up in this situation in the first place. Blaming you for any of it would be the act of a child.
It is painful to hear her speak in such a way. I don't deserve this much understanding. Not after what I did. Still, she has a point. I shouldn't get caught up in my desire to apologize. This isn't over. Okay, so do we skip here? Will it let me skip? It skipped kind of. We come to race across Sinlos Bridge. After bridge, mini glossy. Yep, we skip over it. That happens.
Prowlers.
Yep. I turn behind me only to see more. Yep. Slowly slide my hand.
Wait.
Yep, sword. Wait. Something different. What? I didn't actually read that. I was so distracted by the something different happening. Okay, cool. I feel bad. I clearly underestimated Margaret and assumed that she could not do anything. Sorry, Margaret. There's no time. But wait. She said, wait. We will wait. She is a smart cookie. I keep a firm hold of the hilt of my sword. However, I make no moves to draw it.
It isn't safe to get near those things without a light. And besides, I have an idea.
Margaret coming in for the win. I still glance at Margaret between keeping an eye on the group of monsters surrounding us. She delves a hand into her pocket and retrieves a small book. She opens it and tears out a page of the thick paper. She pockets the rest of the book and crumples the paper into a ball. Margaret looks up at the creatures herself to make sure that they haven't drawn too near, eyeing them intensely. She pulls something out of her pocket And with a start, I realize that it's a match. Surely she wouldn't light a ball on fire and throw it. Margaret catches on to my worry expression and shakes her head.
I'm not going to throw this onto the bridges, if that's what you're thinking.
Okay, cool. Are you gonna put on my sword? She focuses back on her supplies and ignites the match, lighting the paper ball on fire, and tosses it off the side of the bridge, directly into the water. The incoming light scares off some of the Nixie, who scatter back into the depths. Amazingly, the light isn't immediately extinguished. It continues to burn atop of the surface. The water is too dense to be disturbed by the slight weight of paper. I crack a large smile at the sight.
That's excellent. You are truly clever.
You know what? All the cookies to Margaret. Such a clever cookie she is. I mean, I really underestimated her. I thought for sure she would die if I took her with us. I mean, she can't see. She trips a lot. I figured that Lou would survive because he was alive when we found him and he was by himself without a light. But silly me. Yeah. Wow, maybe we have a chance. That's excellent. That Kika read that. Margaret flashes me a grin of her own.
I would certainly hope so, considering how much credit I've rewarded myself for my supposed intelligence.
She creates a few more paper torches and starts walking forward, tossing them on the lake in all directions. I follow along behind her, watching as the remaining Nixie retreat further away from the multiplying lights dancing on the water. As soon as the area is thoroughly cleared of danger, the two of us march on ahead. The sloshing sound of water captures out our attention. I look back. There's motion from under the surface, enough to begin displacing the water. The lights start to go out from under the surface, enough to begin. I read that part. The lights start to go out from the splashing, if not becoming completely slowed by the lake. Margaret and I share a glance with one another before mutually deciding not to linger We start rushing across the bridge with renewed vigor and don't stop until the wet sound of the crooked monsters are long behind us. I take advantage of the break to look around with more care. Well, with Margaret with us, we'll see if we can survive in the next episode. I'm Taylor Cat. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.